Hello. Today I am going to talk about the OANDA trading platform or broker. If you've been following along with the Learning Python lessons, you already know that this is the platform I'm going to use for the demo of writing a trading bot. I chose this platform because it's the only one that gives demo accounts out to anyone. Every other brokerage I've found thus far only allows testing and demos strictly within a certain jurisdiction. OANDA doesn't seem to care for the demo accounts who uses it for learning. So I suspect that is pretty much part of their global footprint because they have such a large offering. And also, more than likely they use completely separate machines to maintain the live system versus the demo system, so security isn't an issue, although they do have extensive amount of security. The live systems especially are very well protected with a myriad of different safety protocols. So they do take security seriously, and they make sure that their customers are protected. But of course, any technology is open to weaknesses, particularly users with weak passwords. So you do need to pick and choose passwords that are appropriately secure. Now, full disclosure is OANDA is not a sponsor. It would be nice, but it's not. I just happen to like the platform and it provides the demo services. So here we are, oanda.com, and this is what it brings up. Let's begin going in and getting the process done. Now you will need to sign up for a demo account. And you can simply click on the Try Demo and it will go through the process. It's actually a very easy process and doesn't take that long. So if you don't have a demo account already, then you need to get one. And they support a huge array of locations and jurisdictions. But again, the demo is open to everyone. I have one already, so I'm going to go ahead and log into it. Okay, once you log into your demo account, this is what you will see on the screen. Pretty straightforward and easy to use. We're going to use the web account for this. But you do need to be aware of quite a few things on this page, particularly when we get into working with our APIs. Let me find my mouse here. You're going to need this section because you're going to need to establish a bearer token. Pretty straightforward and easy to do, and the on-screen prompts are really easy to follow. You'll also need your account ID, and that will be the next section we work on. So here is where you get your bearer token and manage your API access, and through the web services we'll get a lot of other functionalities. But you can also go into managing funds, and I'll demonstrate that. And here is where you will need to get your account ID. Now I have an empty account waiting for later usage, but don't worry about that. What you want is right here. You want to save this information or remember how to get it, because this is absolutely required as part of the API process when we get that far in the Learning Python series. But for now, let's simply go into the practice account. Let's go to the web services. As you can see, the site is very clean and very easy to use. And this is the trading dashboard. Here you can place trades, you can carry out various bits of information and analysis. It really is nice. But let's start with the very basics of what is offered. As you can see, there is a lot of information, and we're going to go over this. Now, I have favorites, but if you click on Forex, you'll get every pair in the system. And we need to talk about this part here. Before we get to the favorites, let's actually take a look at a few of these pairs at random, because some of what you see isn't as obvious as you would expect unless you're used to Forex. If you come from a different market, it's not going to be the same. So let's take a look at the Aussie Jpy and let's talk about this. OANDA is unique in that when you go to pick your units or shares, you cannot use decimals. That is, you cannot use a fractional portion of a unit. So in this case, the price of one AUD JPY is $97.60. You cannot purchase half of it, a quarter of it, or a tenth of it. You have to purchase a minimum of 1 unit. That's it. So that's a little different than modern day stockbrokers or cryptocurrency exchanges, where you can slice up down to very tiny amounts and only purchase a fraction of the value of the asset. So that is something to be carefully aware of when you're planning out your strategy. Units must be whole numbers. Now let's talk about the buy and the sell. And you'll notice that the buying price is more expensive than the selling price, and the difference is the spread, the middle number. This is how OANDA makes its money. Now you can get an account where you pay a commission, but for most people, they're not going to put enough money into this to be able to afford a $10 commission per trade. And this is per trade. So if you buy, you're going to pay the spread. When you sell, you're going to pay the spread. A proper trading strategy will automatically count the spread in when it does its trading and analysis. Now this is market orders. You can do limit orders. And there's really a lot here that you can do. Now you can set your take profit and your stop loss at once on this panel, which is good if you're only trading one position at a time. It's not good if you're using an accumulation strategy or a grid strategy. OANDA follows the legal FIFO ruling. which means when you make a purchase and then you make a second purchase, you may have 2 trades on your account, but you're only allowed to sell the oldest position first. Or if you place a market order, the money will come out of the oldest position first. So that's an important thing to realize when you're figuring out your averages for grid trading or other types of trading techniques. The oldest position is always sold off first. First in, first out. First purchase, first sold. So let's demonstrate this with this demo account. Let's take a market order of $10. I'm not going to place a stop loss or anything, and I'm going to pay $97.61. So when you submit it, it goes through, and you'll see it in your positions. Right now, 10 units AUD JPY. Okay, so let's go back and let's buy another $10. Remember, this is a demo account, so I'm not worried about how much I buy here. So AUD JPY, $10 market, and I have 20 units. No open orders, which means everything cleared. So now, let's look at the panels. And you can even modify this appropriately. Let's see, okay, here we go, trades. So here you see my trade history. And you see 10 units and 10 units. And it shows you precisely where each position is. So what happens if I sell 15 units? Well, it's going to take it out of the oldest one first. Let's demonstrate that. So I'm going to click on the cell, and it changes the cell down here in the window. Let's get the mouse pointer there. The print isn't always easy to see in a panel, depending upon the device you use, and it's not overly clear. But it does show specifically I'm going to sell it and the selling price. So let's put in 15 units, and now let's sell it. Okay, market order executed. And let's scroll the window. You see buy 10 units, buy 10 units, sell 15 units. Now let's look at our positions. And you see it opened up a short on me. And you have a margin. So those are all things you need to be aware of. OANDA is not your typical platform when coming from a cryptocurrency exchange. So you need to be aware of some of the minor details that come into play. And when you click on it, on the application, it gives you a closed window, but here you can click on the X. and it will let you close out your position. So you can short. Unlike a lot of situations for a lot of different markets, OANDA does allow that. So it's a good way of learning all of the metrics for buys and sells. And here you see I have an open position already. You click on it, it changes it to the chart, and you can see I am 35 pip profit. It automatically counts the spread as part of the fee, and that is critical. So let's look at our trading window. You'll see a complete history of what we have open. And there's a lot here that you can really do. For example, the activity window. Come back here. Shows everything that transpires in sequence according to what they call ticket numbers. So you see exactly the whole history, how everything works. This is a good way to really learn. And it's also a good way to realize how to manage your budget. I personally don't find a lot of things necessary when I am working on a constant basis. But I do find something that is necessary in the order book that really is the first time I've seen it in an exchange. I haven't seen this in any cryptocurrency exchange at all, and I actually can't think of any stock exchanges that show this, or stock brokers. Most of the time when we talk about order books, we see the order wall. We don't actually see support and resistance within the order book itself. Let's see. This is more of what we see. We see a basis of the order walls and how fluid the market is in general. But this is deceptive if you really want to see where the market is. So if you really want to check the best place to get in and out of the market, you want this kind of situation where the actual support and resistance levels of orders themselves are actually residing. You could actually take this information, run an average on it, and then be able to clearly see where opportunities lie within the chart. For example, right here, between the roughly 1.23.5 range, or 1.235, excuse me, this looks like a good area. Now this is on the sell side, so that could be a resistance level. And you really don't see much activity on the buy side. No strong holdouts. So that could be important if you're looking for opportunities to get in the market. You see some activity way at the bottom of the market, where if you click, you can get the price, and that gives you a clue of what the buyers are looking for. So really taking your time in the order book and exploring different sections. For example, under positions, you see where most of the positions are in relation to price. Again, support and resistance methods that can help you get invaluable information about your trades. And that really is very critical when you're looking at longs and shorts and you're trying to find the pulse of where the market is going. And right now you can see that by positions, there seems to be more weight on the long side of this asset. Now, after that brief interruption, so using these type of techniques, it's the dynamics of the market, its available funding, really is an incredible way of helping you pick and choose better opportunities. And having things play out in such a way so graphically really helps bring home how the market works with this kind of a system. Forex is a wonderful market to be in as long as you understand your risks and understand the inherent underlying principles of currency exchange in general. Now, as you can see here, you have your account number and you have your quote currency or currency of funding. And of course, your balance. This is all pretty much standard within OANDA's demo account. And the one thing that does need to be mentioned here is that you automatically have leverage with this account. My account currently is set at 10 to 1 leverage, but you can go as high as 50 to 1 in your settings. I don't recommend testing with 50 to 1 because it's deceptive by nature. Start with the lower amounts and then go from there. Practice is everything with this, and understanding assets you can afford is everything. Now, the other point, along with the order book, find my mouse here, is your spread count. Spreads in Forex change dramatically throughout the day. So you will see them go up and go down. And you can attribute the size of your spread to the amount of volume in the market for trading at that moment. Smaller spreads mean more activity. More activity means better opportunities. So liquidity of the market is extremely important. And you can actually track algorithmically what these spreads are based upon a given market and actually plan when to buy and sell to maximize your profits. So you'll find quite clearly some very interesting bits of information provided here that we're actually going to see when we start writing the bot. A lot of this information you can actually program algorithmically and take advantage of it in your trading, like your spread size, the order book information, so forth. So it is really worthwhile to take time to practice with a few positions. Get to know the platform well, because the more you know the website of it, the easier it is to work with the API side of it, especially when things don't work as you expect them to. Now you will find a lot of information here, and you'll find that you can really add and adjust the information you receive, including heat maps in the market, so forth. There we go. You can get an idea of what assets are really doing well and what assets are really not doing well. And of course, the direction is speculative on the basis of how you trade. For example, if you can afford it, the very bottom of the list looks like it might be a good buying opportunity, because it looks like it's got a pretty good discount. And if you look at the chart by clicking on it, you can see it's pretty sideways at the moment. That sideways motion has been going on now for what looks to be about 2-3 months. So that could be some opportunities there. Right now it looks like it's open for a good short. So again, study the platform. Learn everything it has. Because once we start writing programming, this information can translate into program mechanics, like a screener to try to find the best opportunities. Ways of checking and watching spread to find out when is the best place to buy and sell. How market overlaps affect price action and spread action is another good area to really study. Forex is not technically 24/7 for all markets. For example, you have the London session, you have the New York session, you have the Asian section, and you have the Australian section. And they overlap in 4-hour windows at certain points. A lot of traders prefer to use that and only that section to place their trades. So that really is just one of the many facets of this market. Some traders prefer to use this information to pick different assets in each session so that they're not overlapping their assets and diversifying their holdings. And of course, you have full charting, and all of the features of TradingView to some degree. Now, when we start actually placing orders with the API, and you've already seen by doing it from the website, this is extremely fast. I haven't seen any slippage issues at all with the new order, even with market orders. Realistically, there is going to be some slippage, but so far it's been so minimal, I've actually not seen it. So from the standpoint of this exchange, it's a good, wonderful way to learn. You'll see a lot of things on the left-hand panel. Check them out. Go through them. Spend time really studying what this platform is capable of. and you will find a wealth of information that when you start going into the API, you can actually program that information in to help you find opportunities. So that's really it for this video. It's really not a complicated platform, but it provides so much information in such a clean way. So stay tuned for the rest of the Learning Python series, because our next stop is really to get into the API and start actually working with the platform from our own code. Until next time.